Okay, so you know that feeling, that like mid-afternoon slump
Yeah.
where you just want to face plant right onto your desk?
Oh, absolutely. We've all been there.
Yeah. And we're diving deep into that today. Like, why does that happen? And what can we do about it? Specifically, we're looking at this article, Foods to Eat to Beat Fatigue.
Okay.
So we're going to figure out if what we're eating is actually playing a role in how tired we feel.
Right. Makes sense.
So right off the bat, the article talks about portion sizes
Uh-huh.
and how they recommend eating smaller portions and choosing whole foods
Yeah.
over processed ones,
Yeah.
which seems like pretty common sense advice.
Yeah, it's pretty standard stuff.
But I'm curious about the why. Like, what's actually going on in our bodies when we eat a giant plate of, pasta versus like a smaller salad with some protein?
Right. So think about it this way.
Yeah.
When you eat, especially a big meal, your body has to work hard to digest all that food.
Yeah.
Like, it takes a lot of energy, and that energy has to come from somewhere.
Okay, so where's it coming from?
Well, it's basically diverting power from other systems
Oh, interesting.
to fuel the digestion process.
So it's like I'm stealing energy from my brain to power my stomach.
Kind of, and that's why you often feel so drained after a large meal. You're literally using up your energy reserves to process it.
Ah, so that's the infamous food coma we always hear about.
Exactly.
I knew it wasn't just me making that up.
No, it's a real thing. And it's all about hormones.
Hormones. Tell me more.
Okay, so when you eat, especially a meal high in simple carbs, what happens is your blood sugar levels spike.
Okay.
And your body responds by releasing insulin,
Uh-huh.
which helps move glucose into your cells for energy.
Gotcha.
But then, here's the thing. This can lead to a rapid drop in blood sugar later on, leaving you feeling tired and sluggish.
Okay, so it's like a sugar rush and then a crash.
Pretty much. And then there's another hormone at play here too called glucagon.
Okay, this is getting complicated.
Well, glucagon works to raise blood sugar. So it's like this balancing act between insulin and glucagon.
Right.
And after a big meal, that balance can get thrown off.
And that's part of what contributes to that after lunch slump.
Yes, exactly.
So it sounds like what you're saying is instead of 3 big meals a day, we should be aiming for smaller, more frequent meals.
That's the idea. Smaller meals help prevent those drastic blood sugar swings.
Yeah.
It's like providing a steady stream of energy instead of overwhelming your body with all of it at once.
So instead of that giant plate of pasta, maybe like a smaller portion with a side salad.
Yeah. Or maybe some grilled chicken or fish.
Okay.
Something to provide some protein and healthy fats.
Gotcha. Now, the article also mentioned something about walking after meals.
Oh, yeah, that's a great tip.
And I mean, it seems super simple. But does just taking a walk actually help that much?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Even light physical activity like walking can make a big difference.
Okay, how so?
Well, first of all, it stimulates digestion, helps move food through your system. Second, it improves blood circulation.
Which does what exactly?
Well, it helps transport nutrients and oxygen throughout your body.
Okay.
And here's the really interesting part. It can actually help regulate your blood sugar levels.
Really?
Yeah. Because when you move your muscles, they uptake glucose.
Huh. So walking can actually help prevent that sugar crash.
Exactly. And all of that leads to, you guessed it, more energy and less fatigue.
So to recap, we're talking smaller meals, whole foods, and adding in a walk after eating. Sounds simple enough.
Right. And remember, you don't need to make drastic changes all at once. Start small.
Yeah, that's a good point, because I know a lot of people are probably thinking, okay, great advice, but I have a job and kids and a life. Like, who has time to cook gourmet meals and go for hour-long walks every day?
Yeah, absolutely. It's all about finding ways to make small, sustainable changes.
Right.
Like, instead of a giant lunch that weighs you down, maybe pack a salad with some grilled chicken. Or a veggie wrap.
Even just leftovers from dinner.
Exactly. And for the walking, you don't need an hour-long workout. Even just a brisk 10-minute walk after lunch can make a difference.
Totally. And what about cravings?
Oh, yeah, those are tough.
Because we all know how tempting it is to reach for that bag of chips or that candy bar.
Right, especially when you're feeling that afternoon slump.
Exactly. So, any tips on how to combat those cravings?
Well, I think the key is finding satisfying alternatives.
Okay, like what?
So instead of chips, try a handful of almonds or walnuts. They're packed with protein and healthy fats, which will give you more sustained energy.
Okay, that's a good swap.
Or, if you're craving something sweet, swap that sugary soda for a piece of fruit. You'll still satisfy that sweet tooth, but you'll also get vitamins and fiber.
Makes sense. It's all about being mindful, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Like just taking a moment to think about what you're putting into your body and how it's going to make you feel.
Exactly. And it's amazing how much of an impact food really has on our energy levels.
It really is.
Yeah.
So to wrap things up, it sounds like the key takeaways here are opting for smaller, more frequent meals,
Uh-huh.
focusing on whole foods over processed ones,
Right.
and trying to incorporate a little walk after eating.
You got it. Small steps can make a big difference.
Totally agree. Now, before we go, any final thoughts for our listeners?
Yeah, I'd say take a look at your current diet and think about one simple swap you can make today to incorporate more whole foods and reduce processed foods. It doesn't have to be anything drastic.
Great advice.
Yeah.
Because every small change adds up.
Exactly.
And who knows, maybe you'll even find yourself with a little more pep in your step.
I hope so.
All right, well, that's all the time we have for today. Thanks for joining us for another deep dive.
Thanks for having me.